Hi, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful podcast. Today, I'm joined by the beautiful Kendra G from WGCI Morning Show. And Kendra has a beautiful Singles on Instagram Live, which is a hit. Let me tell you, I am so glad, Kendra, that you are here joining me. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. You know, it's weird because Susan has been on, like, you've been on our show, our morning show on the radio so many times. So now I'm on the other end.
How does it feel?
I don't know yet. I think I'm going to start asking you questions, but I'm trying to say, okay, don't ask questions. Let Susan ask the questions.
Well,
okay.
You know what? Here's the thing, okay? You are on, I have to tell you, I commend you because you're such an active personality. You know, you are on a lot of things. You are a very busy woman. You are always going back and forth to LA. You're New York. You do a lot of things. And I know that, you know, the show is great. The morning show with Leon and Kyle.
Right.
I love them. I love you. And you know what? You all are a great group.
Yes.
Everybody tunes in to listen to you guys all the time. I'm telling you, I had a lady this morning, and I did a session, and she goes, I got you from, you know, Kendra and Leon and, you know, the morning show and Kyle, and she goes, I've been trying to call, and I can't get in, and she goes, I'm going to make an appointment. I said, I'm so glad you're here.
Yes.
So it was really good. So, you know what, there's a lot of listeners. People do tune in to a lot to what you guys say. The subjects are good. Who you interview is amazing.
Yes.
I mean, from the mayor to
City Girls.
City Girls. I mean, that's huge. That's
Yeah.
really huge. So, you know, I just want to say thank you. But I love the radio show because of what it stands for. And, you know, we met when I was on Fox.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
doing Fox, so this is when life used to be a different world,
That's
literally.
right. That's right.
And I was doing Fox. I was making weekly appearances on Fox.
Right.
And then you happened to be there that day.
Right.
And I'm a person who's always believed in psychics. So I was like, oh, it would be so awesome if you could come on our morning show.
Right.
And then you came on that one time, and now you literally are our only reoccurring guest.
I love
You're
that.
the only reoccurring guest that we have on the morning show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're the only person we have you have been on more than any other guest.
Oh my God, I love that. And I do. And you know what? Seriously, I remember when I did a phone session with you and you wanted to see what I was going to see. And I remember your mom coming through and it was
our
really,
first.
do you remember?
Yes.
Before I was on the show.
That was before the radio? Yes,
Right.
You're right. So, okay, I wasn't always sure. I remember I was in Connecticut because I was in Connecticut at the time when we did the reading, and I was in the car. I was leaving the gym. Mm-hmm. So I still remember. And it was my first time you doing a reading for me. And that reading at that moment was on my mom. My mom passed away in 2012. Mm-hmm. So that was a good reading. Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was. She came through, and it was blessings. It was just everything that she was saying, what she wanted you to do, what she didn't want you to do, how she was around you, what to stop worrying about. It was like she never left.
Yeah.
And it was very comforting.
I remember one thing you said is like, you're always moving so fast. She's like, you're always on the go. You're always moving.
And you are.
Yes.
And you still are. But I think that makes you happy. I think that's how you get your zen.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if it will always be that way. I think right now, because I'm based in Chicago and a lot of my personal relationships are not in Chicago.
Right.
So for me to be a part of them, I have to travel to them. But I think, you know, you're right. That is true. I think I will forever be a person that travels.
Yeah, because travel to me is your zen when you can go and you know what? It's one thing to go to your house or your apartment or your condo and rest. And I think this is for a lot of people. But sometimes you need a change of scenery and it reboots you.
Yeah.
Like it energizes you. And then you come back and then you're ready to face the world.
Right.
That's how I see you. So you need these little breaks of getting away, even if it's 1 or 2 days, 1 to 4 days. It seems to work for you.
Yes, it does.
It really
and
does.
it sucks because we're in a COVID situation
I
where you're
know.
not supposed to travel. And Susan has been talking to me about traveling less. So, you know, I go to LA and then I come back and then I go to Connecticut.
Okay.
And then
That's it. You're going to stop for a little bit. You're going to be grounded for a little bit, at least for the wintertime?
no, because I have at least Mexico potentially.
Oh, my goodness. And when is Mexico?
Potentially September.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Okay.
Okay.
And then another LA in October, and then Atlanta in November, and then Connecticut in December.
I'm going to say no to Connecticut.
In December, Christmas?
Yeah.
You're saying no to Christmas in Connecticut?
I am. I know Christmas in Connecticut, right? But no, I don't think that's going to be a safe time for you. I don't. And as far as Mexico, you got to make sure they don't close the border.
Okay.
I'm warning you on that. I don't need you stuck there. It's not like you can get in the car and drive all the way back here.
Right,
So you
right.
better watch that. You've got to keep real close tabs, because if they close the borders, you're going to be stuck.
Right, right.
Okay, so I think you got to pay attention. And for those of you that are listening, you do have to be careful when you are traveling. I'm warning you. When flu season is coming, it's going to hit, and we're going to have a lot on top of COVID.
So
Think about that. I'm sorry to say that. I know you don't like it, but I swear to God, it's going to be a tough one before it gets better. But here's the thing. I want you to have it in your mind that this is really going to ease up by next year. By the end of next spring, it will get better.
So next summer's going to?
Into next summer, it'll be a lot better than what we are now, because we're going to have a handle on it.
Okay.
And we really will. And then we're going to know what the high peaks are and the low peaks are. This is the first year. We're not even through with this year yet, so we have to go through everything full circle. So after that, we're going to have a better idea of what to do. Okay, so you're just going to have to be a little creative. I know you want to go somewhere, but we'll talk about that back. When
Okay.
you're getting closer to that, then you say, hey, Suze, what am I doing?
Okay,
Am I
okay.
going? Am I not going?
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so you're doing WGCI in the morning show.
Yes.
So tell me what the hours are and how that's going with COVID. How are you doing that right now?
So it's interesting because I do the morning show, like you said, with Leanna Kyle, two
Right.
other guys,
Right.
and a producer named Ryan. So I live across the street from the radio station. So I actually have never stopped going to work. I go to work every single day still. But the boys don't, they work from home.
Yeah.
So I seen Kyle one time at a protest at a march we both were at back in June.
Oh, wow.
That's the only time I seen Kyle, and I
Okay.
seen Leon one time in May because in April. We came back for a week, and then Leon came for that week, and then it was in May. I'm sorry, it was in May. And then he went back to working at home. So I haven't even seen them in person. I just hear their voices every morning.
That's hard. What do you think? How you
We got
doing?
used to it now.
You're used to it.
Yeah, I like being in the studio because it's just easier. But like I said, I'm going to California. So when I go to California and I come back, I won't go to the station for like 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, it's good. You got to be careful. Right now, I still think it's okay. I mean, we still have to watch what we're doing, okay, and we still need to take the precautions. But the problem is, I think, the traveling once flu season comes.
And flu season comes when, October?
It's usually the end of October, November, because people start getting sick. Doctors typically say it doesn't happen until January, but I don't agree with that at all, because people are getting sick. People get colds, they get flus. I always say after Halloween is when it comes big time.
So it's when the weather changes,
When the
basically.
weather changes, it gets cold, it gets rainy, it gets very windy, and that's when people start getting sick. I remember when the kids would go Halloween trick-or-treating, and then all of a sudden everybody's got a sore throat, and that's going to make it hard too, because they're going to want to do COVID tests on everybody that has sniffles or a fever, because they're not going to know what's the difference. Is it a cold? Is it pneumonia, bronchitis, influenza, COVID, regular flu? Which is it? Think about that. So I feel bad for the doctors. They got to take the precautions. People aren't going to know what they have.
So the rest of this year, you basically call it a wrap.
I call it a wash. I know. It's tough. So we got to really discipline ourselves. And we have to
Okay.
be really creative to what we're doing. But this year, it's just very different. And we just have to, I know we go down kicking and screaming, but the bottom line is we want to stay safe. Because I'm going to tell you, I have known 3 people that have died from this. This is real. And these are perfectly healthy people that never had a problem.
They were healthy and they still passed away?
Yes, they did, because it lodged so bad in their lungs, and they just couldn't beat it. So I'm telling you, it's a very mysterious virus. Some people get it very bad, some people get it a little mild, not so bad. So I think it depends on your immunity, and that's what you need, okay? So please take the precautions. Stay away from the crowds. You don't know where they've been.
Right.
You know only what you've done.
Right.
Okay, but you can't trust, so be careful with that. But, okay, so you're doing the morning show, and I love that. That's my favorite show of all time. You know that, because I love the dynamics of all of us together.
Yes.
I have so much fun with all of you.
Yeah, they think you're right. It's funny because when you first came on our show, they weren't true believers.
No, they weren't.
They weren't believers.
No. And they weren't. And I remember Leon, he was a little stuffy. He goes, very nice to meet you. And Kyle was just really quiet, hi, how are you? But they did not believe. Remember, Travis, you were there. And I'm like, well, and she was just as doll as she is, but she's already knew me. She's already tried me out. But then during the commercial break, I remember Leon's father coming through.
Oh, yes.
And I said some personal things about his father that no one knew.
The cufflinks.
Remember that?
Yeah, the cufflinks.
And I remember, and then I did Kyle's father, and that was a tough one because, you know, there was a relationship there. And that's when they said, okay. And I remember Kyle started out the show, 20% is all I got. That's all you got me for, 20%. At the end of the show, he goes, 80% now, man. I'm really. So every time I kept coming, he was so sweet, but he would believe more and more and more. And now you're all sweethearts.
Yes, those were memorable, but I think the biggest one, and I wish we would have had it on tape.
It was McCormick Place.
No,
which one?
In the studio when Leon's brother-in-law, who had just passed away.
I forgot about that. That's right.
He had just passed away, and he came through for you to give a message.
Yes.
To his mother-in-law.
That's right.
Because she was very having a hard time, and I remember she was telling him that he went fast and that he's okay.
And then Leon's aunt had passed away. I think it was his mother's sister.
Yeah, she passed.
And she came through out of the blue. I mean, I'm sitting in the studio and I'm like, who's so-and-so or whatever, you know, and I just remembered, I forgot Leon's brother-in-law's name, but I remember saying this name, and I go, who's Danny?
Yeah, you said
Danny.
Yeah,
that's it.
That is.
I said, who's Danny? I kept hearing Danny. I'm like, and I kept looking like, what am I hearing, you know? And I says, who's Danny? He looked at me, he goes, what about him? I said, he's passed. And I see it was a very angry passing because it was a murder, I really think.
Yeah, it was a murder.
Right? So I just kept saying it's not good. Did he get shot? Because I kept feeling bullets in my chest. Like, you know, I kept going like this, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to scare them, because sometimes I actually feel it like it's happening to me. And with that, then he just said, holy cow. And that just blew his mind. And that's what I'm saying. This isn't planned. Sometimes it just comes. A lot of times people think, okay, you're here, start producing. Well, you just need to be open and relax, and then spirit will start coming through.
Well, let me ask you that, because I know you are leading this.
No, go ahead.
But with that, so when spirit comes, do you see them, or do you, how are they, when they're
all of the above? It just
Okay.
depends how they want to present themselves to me.
So sometimes you can literally see them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see what their favorite thing was. I could see, like, I had a lady the other day, and she passed, and I said, oh, my God, she was so meticulous. This woman was a sharp dresser. Her hair's never looked better. I said, oh, my God. She goes, that's my aunt. She was the queen of dressing. And I said, I'm going to tell you, her makeup is on, her hair is perfect. And she goes, that was my aunt.
So
she knew right away.
So when we go to heaven, or where we go,
right,
we're still the same?
Well, you're a better version of yourself. Like,
Okay.
for instance, say you live to 90 years old.
Okay.
You're probably going to come back this way because,
okay.
you see, you pick the era of what you feel most comfortable.
Oh, wow.
Okay, like you're not that
I'm gonna
decrepit,
pick-
sick person anymore.
Okay.
You're not that way anymore. So
Okay.
you pick if you liked when you were in your 20s or your 30s or your 50s. Okay, so I get different eras from people. I get some men that come through when they were in the armed forces and they were never better as a soldier because they were physically fit, they were young, they loved it. So everybody's got their own time and how they want to come.
So the people that we would consider to be bad on earth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When they go to heaven, are they still are they bad? Like, what are they now in heaven?
Sometimes they're not good, but you know what? They're going to have a whole lot of learning to do.
Still.
Oh, yes, they will. And when they are ready, they have to come back and do it again. And hopefully they're not going to be this evil person. So I think we all have been bad in a lifetime. All of us. How are we going to know the difference?
Okay, so basically, I was going to say that. So that's why we're all back on earth?
Yeah.
Because we were all bad, we didn't get it?
Well, no, but it's not we have to do everything full circle.
Okay.
We have to come back a rich person, a poor person, okay, the queen, the king, the homeless person, the gay person, the white person, the black person, the Chinese person, the Indian person. We have to come back and do everything full throttle in how it felt. We have to experience everything. A handicapped person.
Wow.
Oh, yes. There are lessons to be learned. And also, we have to give the lessons to other people. Like when a handicapped person comes in, what is the family learning because of this? Everybody's taking away with something. It's teaching maybe the brother to be more empathetic, and maybe he went on to be a research doctor to try to do that, to try to help his brother who couldn't walk.
Right.
Maybe he was a spine specialist. Maybe he was a scientist. You know, so reasons for this, okay? So it parallels to what we're supposed to do because of the situation.
So do you, you know how they always say intuition?
Yeah.
And I've heard people say that sometimes your intuition is like your greater source talking to you.
Absolutely. It is, and we all have it. Do we choose to listen to it? Do we choose to develop it? Or we just choose to slam it down what we don't like?
But it is your guidance system that's telling you.
Well, yes. If you've met a guy that he looks really hot and he's handsome, he's got the whole package, and you're really attracted to him, but this guy is like a really shallow guy, and something's saying, yeah, he's all that, but don't trust him. A lot of women are going to be, oh, no, I like him. I like what I see. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I'm going to give it a try. And guess what? This guy is literally going to just screw you, and I'm not talking in a physical way. He is going to screw you on an emotional way.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you're going to look at him and you're not going to think he's so handsome anymore. You're going to see that ugly personality to him.
Right.
So it's teaching maybe that girl not to look on the outside, but maybe to look in the inside, but also to trust her feelings.
Right.
So I always say when you don't listen to your higher self or your guides that are giving you that, you lose.
Right.
You lose. So now going back to dating, I want to ask you
Yes.
this, okay? Because this is really interesting because we're talking about wanting love.
Yeah.
Everybody wants love, and there's no reason why people shouldn't have it. I truly always say we are not meant to be alone. Maybe children aren't for everybody, but I think that there is somebody for everybody. You don't necessarily have to marry them, but it's nice even to have a companionship, do things with. What I love about your show, and my husband is probably one of your biggest fans. My husband, who is 62 years old, watches your show. Tom just loves it, okay? You are a born natural, and seriously, I can see you, you're doing your own talk show just on your Instagram Live, and you're doing this with singles. So let's talk about that. What exactly prompted you, and what is it you do?
Well, okay, Susan's been on our show how many years now? Maybe 3 years?
3 years.
So one of the biggest things on the radio show is, when is Kendra going to find love? Like, that's pretty much the biggest thing. Every time Susan will come, where is my man? Where is my love?
Right.
So earlier this year, I hadn't dated in many years, probably like 3 years.
Yeah.
I started dating.
Right.
And I got into a relationship. Susan didn't like the guy.
I didn't.
She you didn't like him, but you did give a fun pass.
He was fun.
You gave me a fun pass because I remember I was like, because we talked through emails. So you said you can have fun.
But that's it.
And then it turned, right?
But I said, that's it. Don't get too serious with this guy. There's something about him.
Well, yeah, but then in the end, fun just became a nightmare.
Okay.
So long story short, right before COVID hit, literally the day of COVID, when we got shut down in Chicago, he broke up with me. Like, he actually broke up with me first. I was, because he wanted to be out and do whatever, but him breaking up with me, and I had taught him this pattern, what he would do is he would get mad, and then he would just go missing for like a couple of days and then come back. But this time I said, oh no, we're going to have a conversation. And he was adamant that he didn't want to be in a relationship anymore. We weren't compatible. And I remember, and I wasn't that I liked him so much. I did like him, but it was more so because the world just shut down. I live in Chicago, no family, no friends. So he was my companionship, how you just mentioned about sometimes it's the companionship that people really desire. So, but he was adamant, you came in, I want to be with you. So we were over, and the first week was so hard. I was emailing Susan like so much that week, like, this is such a hard week.
Yeah,
and then literally, that was March 20th. The following Saturday was March 28th, the day my mom died. And even though we weren't together, I felt he would still reach out. And when he didn't reach out that day, I was like, done. I wasn't even sad no more. I was like, absolutely, I'm done with him. And then I just got up and did what I do best, and that is work, career stuff. And I started doing celebrity interviews first because all the celebrities were in the house. So people were doing, so I just reached out to my relationships. I started reaching out to people that I knew and was doing celebrity interviews. And then I said I wanted to hook people up, but I'm a person that wants to have like graphics, promote, all these things. So literally the first Friday, I was like, you know what? That voice we just talked about said, just go on live and hook people up. And I didn't have my flyer together. I just put a post that said, hey, if you're single, meet me on IG at 8 o'clock. I'm hooking you up. Like, literally like that. And then I go, and what it was more than what I thought it would be, it was entertaining. And it was
And
more,
it is.
yeah, it's entertaining. Like I create the slogan that you may not find love, but we guarantee you'll be entertained. And we had people from everywhere that followed me.
I know
on
you have
Instagram.
people from all over the world. All over the world,
All
different
over.
countries.
Different countries.
Exactly.
And they were checking in. And at that moment, I was like, that was a Friday. I was like, oh, I'm going to do it again on Saturday. And then after that, I made a flyer for it. And it's every Friday and Saturday on my Instagram, Kendra G Media, at 8 o'clock Central Time. And basically, you just push the request, and I bring you on live, and I ask you some questions, and I hook you up. And I'm actually, now the next full circle of all that is I'm dating a guy from the show that I met. Literally, I had no.
You were not looking.
Not
I want to
looking.
attest to that because you were not.
I was not looking because
No.
I just broke, and I also have like
Yeah.
career plans. So I was like, I'm not getting back into anything. And I do want to say this, even though the guy broke up with me, he came back trying so hard to get me back to the point where I had to block him. I had to get a police report because
A restraining order.
a restraining order because like he broke up, and then like 2 weeks later he thought he started doing his pattern. But this time I literally have not seen him, or well, he got through once, so I spoke to him one time, but just like hello on the phone, and then I hung up. But that day when we broke up and we had that conversation, that was it. And he had no idea that he would never have another chance because he thought he could just go play, do whatever, and then I would be, and I have not seen him since. So he wasn't ready for that. So he like stalked me, came to my place, called, he would interfere with the show.
I remember that.
So what's interesting is I let it go on for a minute, but then I blocked him May 30th or May 29th. And then the next day, May 30th, I met the guy who I'm dating now. And we've been dating ever since. And he thinks I'm his wife. I was like, we need to date some more. It's so funny. I'm not sure when this will air, but he's coming to Chicago for his first time.
Good.
Tomorrow.
Okay, this is his first time, so he hasn't been here.
He's been here like with layovers, but
Okay.
never been like downtown.
Okay.
So it'll be his first time.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
it'll be
nice. That's
exciting.
really nice. He's just coming for the weekend?
Coming for the weekend. He'll
Okay.
be here tomorrow, and then he'll leave Sunday.
I love it.
So
now, wait a minute. He's coming tomorrow, so are you still going to do your show?
So that's what I'm debating on now. Because, so I went to Dallas where he's at, and I did the show when we were in Dallas. So I have someone that can do my show for me. I found a stand-in. I haven't canceled my show yet, and I've traveled. So I've been very committed to keeping the show even when I travel. But I don't know yet. I'm going to call it by air. I never have not did the show. So
It's going to feel kind of strange.
yeah, so I don't know. I might do it because I feel like there's nothing to do at nighttime. And he's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be like, I think because I was like in Dallas, I felt like he could go and do whatever. Whereas in Chicago,
Yeah.
I would feel like, what is he going to do for those 2 hours?
It's usually 4 hours, no?
Yeah, it could go, but I started
So
at
maybe
8.
you can shorten it that day or
Yeah.
that weekend. You do Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And it starts at 8 p.m.
8 on Central, 8 Central Time.
8
yeah.
Central. Okay. So, because I know I've watched it several times. I
Yeah.
love it. And I do. I think you're a born natural. You have personality. You know what? It's not boring.
No.
Okay.
So let me tell you the kind of people that tune in. We've had a person from jail tune in. Like
Right.
literally they have phones
I remember
in jail.
that. I remember.
Phones-
And they showed his cell.
He showed me his cell.
Right. I remember
I did
that.
not believe he was in jail.
He did. She's got that.
He literally was in jail. We had one woman, and that she was actually the one that kind of spurred it because she was looking for a guy while her husband was in the hospital.
Okay.
You know, and her husband actually passed on, but she was the first outrageous one that got everyone to tune in because she was looking for a new guy.
Okay.
So we have a lot of any sex. You can be gay. We have pansexual people that are into men and women. And I think what works is because I'm the kind of person that everyone like. I try to be sexy for the men who want to, you know.
I don't think you have to try. You look good in a potato sack.
Oh God, thank you. I don't know if I agree. But
I don't think you're beautiful inside and out.
But I think I'm the kind of host that can relate to all people.
You are.
So that's what makes it work. And, you know, the girls can relate to me. The guys can relate to me. The gay people can relate
Yeah.
to me. So that's what you have to be in order to do this. It's like everybody feels welcome.
I love that. I do. I love that a lot. And you know what? It's I love the way you handle each one.
Oh, yeah. I'm very straight.
Oh.
I'm very, well, some would say I'm mean, but I'm
No,
very,
I think you need to be.
Yeah.
In some cases, I think
Yeah.
you got to speak their language because
Yes.
the niceness they just don't get.
Yeah, I think I tried to be nice a few times, and then it wasn't working.
No.
So they like when I pop off, when I go off.
I love the comments.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, you
God.
got to be tough.
Holy
Because the
cow.
comments
Well,
are not nice.
They're not. And some of the things that they say, I mean, I don't like the mean comments, but I do like the funny ones.
Yeah.
There are some funny ones.
They say what most are thinking, but you gotta have thick skin.
Oh, I know.
Because they're not gonna hold back in the comments.
I noticed that. I tell you, my husband and I, we will watch that and we just laugh. We laugh. I mean, but I love the show. I think the show is great, but it you know what? It makes me feel good. Just so you know.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes me feel good. My husband looks forward to it.
Yeah, I
And-
know. That's why I'm gonna do it.
Honestly, my husband so looks forward to it, and I know so many women. And you know, you're a trendsetter. I got to tell you, fashion icon, because you are a trendsetter. People look to see what you're wearing.
I know they do.
Oh my God, they do. And it's true. They really, but people really look forward to it. You've gotten people in the habit, but I think some really good relationships have hooked up. And you know what? Never say never. And it's a great way of getting people together, especially in this COVID way.
Right. And I'm really trying to grow it because I know, I mean, I've literally have people from Nigeria. Nigeria is part of the country that checks in more than any other country.
Really?
Nigeria.
I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nigeria. We get a lot of people from Nigeria, Canada, St. Lucia, Egypt. No, Ethiopia.
Really?
We had Ethiopia, South Africa.
South Africa's cool.
St. Martin. Those are the countries of people that have Belgium. And I'm so mad. I have it somewhere. But I have a girl from Belgium, and I'm trying to find it because it was so awesome. And I cannot find this clip, but it's in something. I know I
Okay.
have it on my phone somewhere.
Okay.
But Belgium checked in. And then in the U.S., of course, Chicago, because I'm based in Chicago.
Absolutely.
But I would say second to Chicago, Atlanta, Florida, New York, Texas are strong, and California, strong ties for the cities that check in the most.
You've got a huge following with this. This is a hit. This is a great show, seriously, and it's a hit. And I'm telling you, you are doing so much good for so many people.
Do you see it growing outside of court?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm telling you, this is growing. It's a hit.
Okay.
People tune into this and people love it. And you know what? It's like free speech.
Right.
So there's nothing censored. You can say pretty much, I mean, you're always
Right.
at the utmost, but it's real.
Yes.
It's real, just like these podcasts are real.
Right.
It's not rehearsed. You know, we just start talking and see what comes through and flows. But I think this is really good.
Yeah.
All right. So how do people log in and talk about how they can get on your show and see it and view it and all of that?
So the simplest thing is, well, not simple, but you have to be on Instagram. So
Okay.
start there.
Okay.
You have to be on Instagram, and then you follow me. My name is Kendra G Media.
Okay.
So it's Friday and Saturday nights, and when I'm live, you just push the request to be added. And then I have some, what do you call it, like robots or like people that try to jump in, or like kids that play around.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
but
geez.
so sometimes I try to check, but most of the time I don't know.
Okay.
So I meet you when the audience is meeting you. And then, you know, I start asking you questions and getting to know you and where you are, and we pretty much go from there.
Wow, it's incredible. For all of you that's tuning in, thank you for tuning in, but I want you to really tune into Kendra's show. It's wonderful. It can be funny. It's lighthearted. You get to see all walks of life, and you get to see how Kendra, you know, hooks people up, and she's really sincere because she is really wanting to know who you are, where you're from, what are you looking for, what are the things you don't want, what's the deal breaker. See, I even know the names you
Yes,
use.
the deal
The
breaker.
deal breaker for you. And you know what? It's really nice. And you know what? It gets me out to see what the new generation is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm older, okay? I'm not looking. I'm married. I'm good. But I like to see what's, you know, it's a new way of meeting people.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very casual way. And, you know, there's no pressure. So if you want, what do you do? DM, or what do you call it?
So basically, yeah, you
don't-
just when it goes live, I'll
Yeah.
go live, and
Yeah.
you go on the live, and then you just excuse me, and then you just literally push the request.
That's it.
Yep, you push the request.
Okay, so you can get your information out there, and if you like somebody and
then when you come on live, I'm gonna see your face.
Right.
And then I'm gonna start asking you questions like, what are you looking for? Where you live? Are you willing to travel? What do you do for a living? Do you have kids? Your last relationship? I added a new one of what do you bring to the table?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I brought that.
Okay,
Added that one to it. And like I said, I've been dating a person from my show and then the thing about Jason, the guy I'm dating, I would have never met him any other way because he's from Oklahoma.
Wow.
And I'm just a city girl.
I know Oklahoma is a nice little place. It is, but it's very different from Chicago.
Very different. And I don't even know if I'm used to Jason now or if he's not as country anymore. Because when I first met him, he was so country.
Okay.
That I was like, oh my God, you're so, like, I always envisioned myself with the New York guy, like an East Coast guy. I'm from the East Coast.
Listen,
so with Jason,
this is nice. He calms you down. He's a balance for you. It's nice. He's easygoing.
He's very easygoing.
But you need that because somebody who's going to tell you what to do, I don't think so.
No. No, he's very easygoing. It's almost scary how easygoing he is.
Yeah, but I love that. That is such a beautiful trait to have because I have a husband like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I could not do what I do, be who I am, if I didn't have the kind of husband that I have. And it's a God honest truth. I thank God every day for him. He is a blessing because when you are a strong figure or you have a talent that's out in the public, you need somebody who is very secure with himself and is okay with that.
Yes.
Remember that. That is a very beautiful trait to have. So when you can find that, hold on tight. It's good. Just have fun right now. See where it goes.
Okay.
But you know what? Don't put any pressure on you where it's going to go, how long. Don't do that. Just, you know what? Just have fun. Don't change who you are. Many times I get a lot of people, they say, where was that beautiful girl I fell in love with? She turned into a different person because you're putting all these different pressures. Don't. Just see where it goes. It will lead you to the direction it's supposed to go.
Okay.
Just continue being Kendra. That's it. All right?
Okay.
All right. Keep that in mind. Keep doing what you're doing. I can't say thank you enough for coming here.
Oh, no, I love Susan. I feel like
love it.
No, I feel like I'm indebted. I still probably haven't caught up to the debt because I hit Susan all the time. So
anytime.
So whenever she needs something, I'm always there because I feel like finally it's a way to repay my thank you.
No, don't even look at it that way. I just look at it as I'm very grateful that you took the time to do this podcast, to join me doing this. But I also wanted people to know what you're up to because there's so much about you that you do. And I love the singles on Instagram Live. Follow Kendra and Leon and Kyle on WGCI Morning Show. Do that. What time is the morning show on now?
So we're on 6 to noon because of COVID hours.
Got it. See, so I'm glad I asked that because I want people to know when your new time is.
Yeah, 6. So we go all the way to noon now.
Okay.
From 6 a.m. to noon.
Okay.
And you can tune in and we will be there.
I know. You're there and I love it. So thank you. I love you. Have fun. And you know what? Have fun with Jason this weekend. This is good.
We'll have fun.
Take care.
Thank
love you, baby.
Love
I love you.